Today, Canada reacts to the resignation of Justin Trudeau. Donald Trump's son visits Greenland, and the death toll from the Tibet earthquake continues to rise. From TLDR News, this is your daily briefing for Tuesday the 7th of January, 2025. Yesterday, the Prime Minister of Canada announced his resignation after nearly a decade in power. Justin Trudeau bowed down after rising discontent over his leadership and growing turmoil within his government. That means that Trudeau's Liberal Party now must find a new leader in order to compete in the upcoming general election, which polls suggest they're headed to a defeat in. The odds-on favourite to be the new leader of the Liberal Party is Chrystia Freeland. The former Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister was a long-time ally of Trudeau, but broke ranks with him over his handling of the economy and resigned from her position last month. Freeland also criticised Trudeau for being unable to handle Donald Trump's threat to levy US tariffs on Canadian goods, something that she is maybe better placed to handle, because before becoming Trudeau's deputy, as Minister of Foreign Affairs, Freeland oversaw the renegotiations of a trade deal between Canada, the US, and Mexico. Numerous Liberal MPs have expressed their support for Freeland following her resignation, and in a caucus meeting before the holidays, she was given a standing ovation by her party colleagues. Former Bank of Canada Governor Mark Carney is also expected to make a run, with reports stating that he's reaching out to dozens of Liberal MPs to gauge interest. While he has never held public office, he has a strong economic background and brings with him expertise on environmental matters through his role as the UN Special Envoy for Climate Action. However, Carney has been a champion of some Liberal policies that have been unpopular within the country's conservative circles, like the federal carbon tax policy. The party's signature climate policy, that critics argue, is a financial burden for Canadians. He's also already criticised the opposition leader, Pierre Poilievre, saying that his vision for the future of the country is without a plan, and just slogans. That being said, there is an unofficial convention in the Liberal Party, having gone back to 1887, that Anglophones and Francophones alternate leadership of the party. With Trudeau being a francophone, it seems that Freeland or Carney, both Anglophones, could be the choices for Liberal Party members, although both candidates do come with issues. Freeland could plausibly lose her seat in University Rosedale, with 338 Canada giving her odds at 60%, while Carney isn't even a sitting MP. Other candidates include the Foreign Affairs Minister, the Minister for Innovation, and the new Finance Minister. If you're interested in finding out more about what happens next for Canadian politics now that Trudeau has stepped down, we've released a full video on that topic over on the TLDR Global channel, so be sure to check that out. There's more on the way, but remember to subscribe and ring the bell for more daily briefing tomorrow. Plus, if you want to support the channel like Nathan, then consider joining the TLDR Daily membership program for just $1.99. We now move to North Korea, where military leaders have confirmed that they fired a new intermediate-range ballistic missile, which was tipped with a hypersonic warhead. This was the first launch by Pyongyang in 2 months, and came at a time when the US Secretary of State Antony Blinken was in Seoul for talks with South Korean leaders. According to North Korea, the missiles themselves traveled at about 12 times the speed of sound, for around 1,500 kilometers. That speed is important too, because it makes it incredibly hard to shoot them down. As a result of this, Pyongyang has claimed that their new weapons will reliably contain any rivals in the Pacific region. For their part, South Korea has viewed the launch as a clear act of provocation, and added that they strongly condemn it. Moving to the US now, where Donald Trump Jr., son of the incoming president, has visited Greenland, mere weeks after his father reiterated that he'd like to take control of the autonomous Danish territory. During his first term in office, Trump Sr. even went as far as suggesting that he wanted to purchase Greenland. Then in December last year, he claimed that the ownership and control of Greenland is an absolute necessity for US national security. It seems that the leaders of Greenland were not happy with this suggestion either, with their Prime Minister saying that we are not for sale and we will not be for sale. Greenland belongs to the people of Greenland. Speaking about his son's trip, Trump explained that Greenland and his people will benefit tremendously if and when it becomes part of our nation. But it seems that the reason that Trump wants to take Greenland is for its strategic importance for the US. It lies between US and Europe, and is home to a large US space facility. It's not exactly clear though how or if Trump will actually pursue Greenland when he becomes president later in the month, but it'll be interesting to see how he tries. Next, an earthquake that struck Tibet early on Tuesday morning has killed at least 95 people so far, according to Chinese state media, with 130 more people injured. Rescue operations are now underway, including 1,500 local firefighters and rescue workers, with 22,000 items, including cotton tents, cotton coats, quilts, and folding beds, having been sent to the region. The Tibet Autonomous Region is a mountainous zone in southwestern China, bordered by Nepal and Bhutan to the south. It sits on the Tibetan Plateau, a seismically active area where the India and Eurasia plates crash, causing uplifts that can be strong enough to change the height of the Himalayan peaks. The earthquake, which was a magnitude of 7.1, also shook buildings in Nepal, Bhutan, and nearby India, but all deaths were reported on the Tibetan side of the border. More specifically, the quake, which struck at about 9 a.m., hit Tibet's holy city of Chagasay, which is the traditional seat of the spiritual authority, the Panchen Lama, but was also felt by Tibet's population of about 800,000 people across the entire region. About 3 aftershocks were also recorded in the 3 hours following the earthquake, and the Mount Everest scenic area on the Chinese side was closed as a result. This event has also cast a spotlight on worsening Tibet-China relations. While political tensions have historically been high since Tibet was invaded and annexed by China in 1950, recent years have seen growing crackdowns by the Chinese state on Tibetan religious and cultural freedom. This has led to increasing reports of political imprisonments, beatings, and widespread intimidation, including towards family members living outside of Tibet. 2024 was a pretty wild year, with billions of people headed to the ballot box to elect new leaders. In fact, with the majority of the democratic world voting, there's a good chance that you missed something weird, interesting, or exciting that happened. So if you want to head into 2025 feeling on top of everything that happened last year, or if you want something to commemorate the crazy year we just went through in politics, then consider picking up a copy of our magazine, Too Long, where the election special dives deep into 29 major elections from around the world. We don't just discuss elections though. We also run through China's trade issues, Biden's successes and failures, the UK's new opposition leader, and the state of the wars in Ukraine and Gaza. Plus, the fact it's a magazine also means that we're not constrained by the time limits or algorithms imposed by YouTube. Unlike fleeting news cycles and algorithmic feeds, Too Long offers thought-provoking analysis and comprehensive coverage that's truly worth holding. Purchasing is also a great way to support the channel. Running TLDR in 2024 cost just over £800,000. So if you've enjoyed our coverage, then picking up a copy of Too Long doesn't just get you high-quality reporting, it also allows you to invest in independent journalism and join us in shaping the future of news. Also, if you want to support us long-term, you can also subscribe to Too Long to get a copy every 4 months. As a thank you, subscribers also get 25% off every issue as long as they stay subscribed, which is pretty huge. Find out more and pick up a copy at toolong.news or by clicking the link in the description. Thanks for your support, and thanks for backing Too Long.